One and only Sophia Smith. Okay.
I don't even know what's happening.
Alright, cuz, what's up? I wanted to bounce some of these ideals off you, so let me... So maybe I should start this way. Do you get the phrase, everything is everything? So, like, what we're doing right now is everything. But everything is not what we're doing. Does that make sense?
Okay, I don't get that part. I don't get the second part.
So, like, you know in math how 1 equals 1, you can go left to right, and then you can go right to left, and it works out, like, that's considered correct.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, with words, it doesn't work that way, and there's not a mathematical symbol to convey that. So, everything is everything is basically talking about the ideal of oneness and how we're all one, and so there's no FOMO, there's no fear of missing out, because everything that you're or whatever it is that you're doing is everything, but everything is not just that moment, so it's this and that. So it's like your friends are doing that and you're doing this, but that doesn't mean that they're missing out because they're doing that versus this. Does that make sense?
Because everything is everything.
Yeah.
I guess that does make sense. Like, I get what you're saying with the everything is everything,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't necessarily, like, I mean, I don't get FOMO, but I know some people do.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't say, like, okay, since we're talking right now, like, your sister, I wouldn't necessarily say, like, she's part of this, because she's not here, if that makes sense. So she is missing out.
But because that she's doing is everything, she's not missing out on anything.
So by literal sense of wordplay,
Mm-hmm.
then yeah, that would make sense.
So yeah, I am saying this because, like, all the people that I know that we've lost to, like, suicide and stuff like that, and so I'm just going step by step. And so basically, like, whatever we do talk about is everything, and I just, like, wanted to get that out of the way to kind of set the table. And so it's not random, like, everything that we're talking about is not random, because nothing's random. And so nothing is crazier than the ideal of life. And so, like, all ideals should be shared, and we should have the courage to do so. And I'm gonna share this screen too. Maybe this will make... Can you see this? Can you see what I'm sharing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just gonna show my cards. And then, so there's... Like, let's talk about you. Like, for fights and stuff, how did you prepare yourself mentally to go into a cage and, you know, get ready to whoop somebody? Or, you know. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't think I have a good answer for that because of the amount of stress I was under because my coach was a psychopath. So I feel like I didn't experience it like I should have, because I honestly was so numb. I couldn't feel anything. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. Like, I didn't get nervous. I didn't get worried. I didn't get even excited. I wasn't happy. I felt nothing. I had no feelings. People would ask, "Are you excited for your fight?" And I'd be like, "No." Like it was weird. So like preparing for it, I just did what my coach said, and that was just train and literally do every single thing that he said because I trusted him. And I mean, it worked. I would win all my fights, but like, I don't know. I wasn't even there. Like, my brain was literally just numb. Numb life. So I don't know if I have a good answer for that, to be honest.
Would you say that your confidence came from practicing?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, that's uh helpful when you train hard and you have like repetition on your skill set, like you just continue to practice, like, and then you know that it works and you see yourself get better. Yeah, that definitely builds confidence.
Did you gain confidence from anything else? Did you gain confidence from praying?
No, I think it was literally just from working really hard in the gym and knowing what I was doing was working.
So did you focus on the process versus the outcome?
Yeah, because you can't predict that. Like, all you can do is live in the present. So, like, all I could do was work in the moment that I'm in and know that if I do my best in the moment I'm in, hopefully the outcome would be positive.
What how would you define present? Being present or presentness?
Not thinking of past or future.
And is it a
Like,
place also?
um, I mean, it can be,
Like,
because you could be present in your head, or you could just, because, like, say you're not really doing very much, like, you're just sitting. You'd be very present in your head. And then I guess if you're like out and about with other people doing something, like say you have to like dig a hole, I don't know, like you're probably present in digging that hole and focusing on you digging that hole. So like the place is outside digging a hole.
so for like me, I would describe presentness as being here now. So the place is here versus like there, and then the time has to be now versus like what you said, like future or the past.
Yeah.
Would that be a good way of like putting it?
Mm-hmm. For sure.
And did you go to therapy today?
No, they didn't have it.
Okay, so one of these categories, where do you think that you would fall in? Would you fall into that know, like what's up here on the screen, that know, that that you don't know, that you don't know that you know, or that you just don't even know that you don't know?
Wait, scroll up to the first one. The first one is those that think they know? No, right?
Yeah, so those that think they know, which to like say it in another way, obviously it's like scolding a baby, and why I believe that's not the correct way to think. And they think they know everything, to put it another way. They know it all. And then I put this as an example, like as Pinocchio's lies grows, so does his nose.
Mm, I feel like it would be those that know they don't know.
And so yeah, that's and and then I also just wanted to put the adage like ignorance is bliss. And so ignorance comes from not knowing, and when you're ignorant you don't know, and then the blissfulness comes from knowing that you don't know. Is that pretty good?
The bliss comes from knowing that you don't know. But
Mhm.
isn't the bliss the part that you don't know? Is
So,
knowing you don't? Oh, wait, you do know you don't know.
mm,
Oh my God.
mm-hmm. Life is paradoxicals. Yeah.
Wait, but you don't know. Wait,
But that's
bliss
the
comes
one
from that
thing
you
that I
don't
do
know.
know.
But you don't know until you know. Like, you don't know it's bliss until you know what it was, right?
I don't know.
Because you wouldn't know that it was, you wouldn't have experienced bliss if you actually knew what you didn't know. But you experience bliss once you find out what you didn't know.
Mm, I don't. I'm not. I don't agree because I'm not following what you're saying.
Okay. So, okay,
Will you
back
say it
to
another
you
way? Will you
said
expand on it again?
the bliss that you said bliss is no, wait, what'd you say the bliss part is?
Yeah. So, well, let's go back 1 second then, because when you call somebody ignorant, you're saying like they don't know,
Yeah.
and then I would say that the blissfulness is being happy, and the happiness is coming from realizing that you don't know. So, like, another way of saying it, like, does that make sense?
I see what you're saying, but I guess I just wouldn't see it that way then, because I think you never knowing. I don't know if my words are right. I feel like you have to eventually know to to past tense to know you experience the bliss of it. Like, once you know, bliss is gone.
But
But you
not
have to
unless
yet.
that knowing is that you don't know.
But then knowing that you don't know means that you don't know that you don't know.
So I can give it to you like, no, I don't. I can give it to you another way. It's like being comfortable with being uncomfortable. It's being perfectly imperfect. So
Like, I.
another way to say
It,
it is like when people say think outside the box, that's the not knowing part, the unknown. And so, but the inside the box is the known and the facts and all the other garbage. Basic. It's not garbage, but like
yeah.
people try to put you in when people look to put other people in a box with this type of thinking. And like again, that's why I want to hit like on not going after people and name calling, but going after the actions and going after the way they think so that I don't alienate anybody or make it personal.
Yeah.
And so
Like,
those that know that they don't know is just like the Biggie Smalls reference. If you don't know, now you know.
yeah, because at one point you didn't know.
That I didn't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. At one point you didn't know that you didn't know, but
Mm-hmm.
now you do know.
That I don't
So,
know.
yeah, that bliss is gone once you know.
But unless
Because
that
the
bliss.
ignorant part is not knowing.
Right.
Yeah. So then your bliss is gone because you know.
Yeah, but it's still. That's the circle. That's the paradox of like life is that two mutually. If they can be two opposing ideals that are synchronized, that have synchronicity.
I think I get it. I mean, I do,
So
but it's
I
like so weird to say because it's like know and you don't know and you because you know and yeah, you gotta like keep up.
and it's like there's no end, no beginning, so you don't know where it starts and you don't know where it ends. So another way of saying it is that I know everything about nothing, and I know nothing about everything.
Nothing about everything. And I know everything about nothing. Yeah. I guess no one would ever say that, though. Yeah. What else are you thinking?
So, well, one that I was thinking is we have bad adages. For instance, saying that you miss every shot that you don't take, but that's not true. It's you don't make any shot you don't take. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, you have to. Like, if you don't take any shots in a basketball game, they don't say you missed a shot. Because
Right.
you're 0 out of 0. And so I don't know if like somebody's effing with our heads and passing this down, or it's that we really just don't know, and like it's like the general consensus and it just sounds good, so we pass it off like fake it till you make it, but it's never good to be fake or phony or unreal.
I think you miss, like, what is the basketball saying?
So the basketball saying is you miss every shot that you don't take, but it's you don't
Yeah.
make any shot you don't take. So this is me shooting my shot.
Yeah. I think that's just a way that it sounds like I think it's understood the way you're explaining it rather than what the words are actually saying.
But even if you were
If
to
that makes sense.
explicitly write that down, that's not true.
No, but I think the phrase of it is meant to
The
be the
intention
correct
is good, but the
way.
execution is crap.
Yeah, but when you say it the actual correct way, it doesn't sound as good. It's not smooth.
Yeah, but you can't buy into something that is not true, regardless of whether it's smooth or rough.
Yeah, but you know what it means. Like that's the same thing as me like saying, yeah, I ate a tomato sandwich. It's like I know you know what I meant, even though I may have said it different. Or
See,
I
that
ate a
has to do
bagel
with,
today.
but that has to do with pronunciation. That
Yeah,
doesn't
but
have any.
phrases
You're
I
not
think
saying.
phrases can work like that too.
Yeah, but it has to. But you're not saying. You're not saying I moss every shot I don't like took or whatever. It's
Yeah,
not
it's
that.
not a word.
It's a
Yeah, it's
completely
I can
different word.
yeah.
It's like saying yes or no. Like there's a distinction. And so like another thing like with the God complex, like people mistakenly think like they're God, so they'll like talk in the third person. So they'll be like, or I would be like, Victor's gonna go eat a sandwich. That's incorrect because I'm not God controlling this body. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, do you see you get what I'm saying? Or should I go
I
further
don't
with it?
know. I don't know if that would be like a God thing though.
Because you're talking in the third person, you're talking like you're out of your body and that you've now taken on the God. You've become God to move Victor around like I'm like some puppet and I then become the puppeteer.
Um,
And so this is what's so crucial about like what's up? What are you thinking?
well, I just never heard anyone talk like that before, to be honest. And sometimes I've actually done that before because it's made it easier for people. Like, for instance, if you're like, if I can remember this right, like it would have been like in school or something, and the teacher was trying to figure out like who was in the room or something, and then I'd be like, yeah, Sophia's here. Because raising my hand and just saying here would never let the teacher fully know I'm here if she's not looking in the right direction, or if she just hears a voice. So I'd be like, yeah, Sophia's in here, if that makes sense. Like, I've never heard anyone else speak in that way in any other way, but I've definitely done it to let someone know, like, I'm somewhere in a vicinity if they can't see me or recognize my voice.
Yeah, but if this teacher calls on you and says, is Sophia here, then...
Oh, then I would say, yeah. Like, yes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say, Sophia's here.
Yeah.
No, I would never do that. But to let someone know, like, locate me, because, like, just hearing a tone of voice may not help by saying here.
Yeah, but see,
like,
in order for you to do that, though, there would have had to been a cause for you to go and say that in the first place, so that person should be in earshot anyway. Like, they should be like, yo, Sophie, where are you? Like, they would already be saying it in earshot, and you know what I mean? Like, they would already be in the vicinity. They would, because you're saying this, maybe this person couldn't hear you or recognize, like, your tone, but there should be nobody else in the crowd saying anything if she's saying, where is Sophia Smith at?
No, if she's looking for the actual person, like, if she's asking Sophia, there's no need for me to say it's Sophia. Like, if the teacher were to be, because I can't remember why I've done it, but I know it was, like, in school settings for something. Like, if the teacher was trying to figure out, like, if maybe she walks into the classroom and she just sees a ton of bodies and she's like, are any of my students in here? Like, say I go to a different classroom and she goes in and she's like, are any of my students in here? And kids are like, yeah. And so then I'm like, Sophia's in here, so she knows that I'm one of her students in the classroom that I'm not supposed to be in at that time. Something like that. Like, because if I'm just like, yeah, I'm in here, she's like, well, which student is that? Like, who is that? So I just, like, to make her life easier, I'm like, yeah, Sophia's in here. Because if I heard random voices all the time, like, yeah, maybe I wouldn't know who that is. I wouldn't always be able to recognize it. That's the only time I would hear someone ever talk like that. Never have I heard it any other way.
Well, there's, like... I don't even know if that example works, so...
Yeah, because I don't think that qualifies as, like, what you're saying, like, what you had explained, but I know that I've definitely done that in, like, a scenario. I can't remember exactly what it is, but I know I've definitely been like, yeah, Sophia's in here. Rather than all the other kids were like, yeah, I'm in here, and she was like, who's saying that? Who is that? I'm like, you guys should say your name so this person knows who you are.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, like, if she was saying who said that, but you would still say, like, I said that, or I'm saying that.
No, wouldn't you respond as who said it? Because if, say you have a substitute teacher, I substitute teach. If someone said, I said that, I'd be like, who is I? And I'm not trying to get into the I am you and you and I. No. They would say who they are, because out of respect, you would want your teacher, your
but there would still
teacher, to have an answer for that question, right? And
but there would still only be one person that said that, unless both of you said that, and then you could both say, like, we said that.
I'm a substitute teacher, so I don't know who you are.
Alright, so I come in, I'm a substitute teacher, and I'm like, doing what, roll call or something? Like, yo, Sophia Smith here? And you'd be like, what, yeah, Sophia's here, here?
If the teacher's asking your name, is Victor here, you say yes. But if I go into a classroom and I'm like, are any of my students in this other class that you're not supposed to be in? And they're just like, yeah, and I'm trying to get them in trouble, and they're just like, yeah, I'm here. I'm like, who are you?
Wait.
You know what I mean? Like, you would have to tell
you gotta back up. No, I don't. So a teacher walks into the classroom and says, are any of my students here? And you'd be like, yeah, I'm here. Though that would still work. You wouldn't have to say Soph is here.
Yeah, but I'm a sub. I don't know you guys. So, out of respect, wouldn't you tell me who you are so I can write it down, right?
And I'd be like, yeah, my name is Victor.
Yeah, exactly. So you're wasting my time by not just saying Sam's in here. Rather, oh, I'm here. Okay, well, who are you? Well, you're just wasting my time at that point. Like, let the person know who you are off the bat because you're just making more communication that's unnecessary.
All right, so in a general example, then, is that some people have a God complex, right? Would you say like some people see themselves as God, maybe like some people get confused and say like I'm God or something, right? Have you ever like seen anybody do that or heard anybody do that? Or
Kind
ever
of,
hear of
sort
the God
of,
or ever
like
hear
pastors.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
They'll say like
Yeah.
I'm God or
I
that
actually recently heard one that said something kind of similar like that. Like, oh, I wish I could remember exactly what it was, but he was saying like since God is in him, like he is God. It was
no.
something like
Yeah,
that.
but see,
Yeah.
I don't agree with that, and I still don't agree with even saying like Victor's here until they'd be like, "What is your name?" Because if they just ask, "Is one of my students in here?" and then I
Or
would just be
any
like,
of my students
"Yeah, is
in
any of
here.
my students in here?" I'd be
You
like,
got kids screaming, yeah, 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 yeah.
"Yeah." Then I would say,
Oh,
"All right, and
yes.
you, come over to my classroom."
Those kids don't listen, Victor. You gotta
Yeah, but that wouldn't
understand. They
matter
don't
if they're not
listen.
listening. Then they wouldn't even be able to say Sophus here because they're not listening anyway.
I mean, they're not listening to me. They're probably listening to the other teacher who's like probably yelling at them and saying, hey, your sub just came in here to get her students, and she's gonna write your guys' name down.
So, all right. Basically, to hit on the point though, that some people have God complexes, and one of the ways that you can tell that they have a God complex and they're not thinking right is that either they're going to say I am God, or they're going to try to use their name that's assigned to them, Victor, and say it in the third person like Victor is cleaning up. It's like you have something, you have a line of thought out of line basically, because so God is you because God created you, but that doesn't make you God. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't think anyone's God. That's weird.
Yeah. Okay. But all right. So I hate to call this person out or whatever, but okay. You ever hear the Liver King?
Yeah.
That person speaks like that, talks like that, and that speaking is wrong, Liver King. You're speaking incorrectly.
He says he's a god.
He goes. Brian Johnson is no longer here. He'll talk like that in the third person, and he'll say talking in the third person gives him this mighty aura and command over his life.
No, that's just weird. That's different. This
Okay,
is
could I?
way different than anything I said. That's like he has reason for it, and it's because he believes that he is no longer him.
That's funny, cause everybody says like I'm him, on like the basketball court and stuff, which is actually hilarious that you say it and put it that way. Cause yeah, he's not him once he makes himself, yeah, not him, like a
Yeah,
third person.
he's that no, that isn't yeah, that's just weird. Like nobody's asking him like, "Hey, is so and so over here?" And he's like, "Yeah, God." Like no, that is different. That's weird. That's odd.
Okay, let me ask you this one, cause I do not believe that we came up with these letters, cause yeah, do you think we came up with letters? And I can so all right, these letters are a circular reference, and we can't even come up with circular references like in Excel, for example, where if you did 1 plus 1, maybe I should just throw up the circular reference. Do you know what a circular reference is? Like, have you met?
Not at all.
All right, so it's where so me being able to describe a letter should not be possible because that would be a circular reference. The letters that make up the word, I shouldn't then be able to use that word to describe that letter.
You talked about this before, I think. Is that with like W?
Yeah, so it's like, which one came first? The two words W or the letter W? And there's bears
Well, in
and
the
tigers.
alphabet, U does come first before W.
No, but I'm saying like the pronunciation of the letter W is two words. Double, one, two, and then U. So did the two words come first or did the W come first? And why did we stop on 26 letters? And why is it not Z that's first and A that's last? And even the rotation of the symbols, like when you write A, you go left to right, so the tail ends on this way, going that way. Like, you see what I'm saying? Even the communication that we're using right now is God given. So that's a way to prove God's existence, is that we're not able to create circular references. The language that we're using right now is a circular reference. Another example is definition is words describing words.
Okay, the questions are fair. Like, why is Z at the end of the alphabet? Why does it only 26 letters? But like, what does it, why would it matter?
Because some people have the ideal, they're atheist. Some people think God is not real. That's one of the
Hmm?
biggest problems with society, is that ideal is not being killed off indefinitely.
Wait, but what does that have to do with like the wonders of why things are? Like, I mean, I guess if you're going to talk about why are we here, like that's
Mm-hmm.
going to come down to like, is there a God or is it Big Bang? But the questioning of like the W, or like why is there only 26 letters, or that stuff. Because like, yeah, Z could have been A,
Uh-huh.
and A could have been like, and then even if it was that way, you'd probably question it, why is A at the end of the alphabet? Like, there's just things that are, you know?
So, like, one of the devil's tricks is to pretend like there's not a right and a wrong. Would you agree?
Mm, probably so. Yeah.
The devil's biggest trick is to pretend like the devil doesn't exist. Okay? And then another thing is, you ever hear the gray area where there's no right and wrong? The
I
gray
don't know if
area.
I've ever heard someone say that, but I'm sure people think it.
The part about there being a gray area, or the one before that?
There's no right or wrong.
Yeah, like some people think that there's no right or wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so
Yeah.
like my thing to like tell people is, or to sell the ideal that there absolutely is a right and a wrong, and the only gray area is with numbers. Like, say you took a test and you got 50 right and you got 50 wrong, then that's the only gray
Yeah.
area. But at the root of it, there's still, yes, you got 50 right and there's still an objectivity. You got 50 right and you got 50 wrong. There's no gray area.
With numbers.
But
Yeah.
people will
With
be like,
numbers, there's accuracy, right? You're saying?
yeah, there's still accuracy. Like, there's still a definite, like, you got 50 right and you got 50 wrong. But in morality, there is an absolute right and an absolute wrong.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but that's only because I'm a Christian. Like, I think morally, if you actually follow Christianity and believe in Jesus and stuff or whatever, then you would morally know there's right and wrong. But I would say if you're an atheist or a fake Christian or whatever, then you have I think your morals can kind of be whatever you want, whatever you morally think is right or wrong.
And then I guess like let me know if you think this is another good way to kill that gray area ideal where there's no right and wrong. Because like I remember growing up in school and they'd be like, well, in the Middle East, the law is different than here, so like that's the gray area or whatever. And
Mm,
but the law is just personal preference. It's just about telling people what to do. It's not even.
well, law is different than morals.
Yeah, so if the law is wrong, then I don't want to be right. Or lawful, I should say. Like, how are you gonna follow an unjust law?
Yeah, okay, so think about capital punishment. That's
Mm-hmm.
where you kill somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
As a Christian, morally, we shouldn't be killing anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But in law, that is their punishment. But again, morally, for me, I don't believe that capital punishment is okay to do as a Christian.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, moral and law, I think are yeah, those end up being different because yeah, they're just
So then, why do we follow the law when it has nothing to do with morals?
because it's the law of the land.
Shouldn't the law of the land be
Unless you,
morality?
but that's making everybody have to be a Christian then.
I don't think it needs to be sliced like that. I think that morality transcends religion.
But then how do we determine, like, okay, so say some, like, okay, even talk about abortion. Morally, as a Christian, right? That's killing a baby,
Abortion?
right? Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that there's an exception for every rule, which means I think the only thing is rape. That's the only thing I think should be acceptable because you forced yourself upon me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
That, yeah, I get that. But,
incest is not a liable excuse
okay.
because those are two willing participants, whether they knew they were family or
Wait,
not.
no. I
What's
think
up?
sometimes incest could be rape as well.
Well, if it's rape, then
Oh,
it's
but that
rape.
covers rape, then it covers rape. Yeah,
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 but
yeah.
if there's just two family members, and that's actually what they used to do in like England and stuff, so that they could keep passing down the line of blood or whatever, they would have sex
Yeah,
within
they
the
did that in
family.
Egyptian times.
And so incest is not a valid
No,
argument
I
or
don't think so
reason or
either.
point. And then here,
No.
so if do you see this like right here, my Excel file right here?
Yeah.
Okay, so 1, and then I do equals the sum of this number equals the sum of this number plus this number, right? And that gives us 2. 1 plus 1 is 2.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, and while we're on this one, just real quick before I get to the point of the point, is that at one point I thought 1 plus 1 was fish, let's say, for example. But like, if I
Mhm.
come to my understanding the next day that 1 plus 1 is 2, you shouldn't keep judging me off of what I previously said and had a different ideal. So that's what I'm also saying. Like, we can't just keep bringing up the past like that. If somebody moved forward, like if we come back to this and we revisit it the next day and we say we have a different opinion on abortion, somebody shouldn't be able to come back to 4/1/25 and be like, but on this date you said this. It's all about staying present, because you see what I'm saying. You're already smirking
Mhm.
over there, so I'm guessing you get it.
No, it's just funny because just the way you used your example of 1 plus 1 is fish, and you're like, you better not go back to that day that I thought it was fish because now I know it's two.
Yeah, because I've grown, I've evolved. There's so that's what, yeah, like people try to.
No, I think that's accurate. People shouldn't judge you from your past, but I think it's very fair to judge someone off their past if they haven't changed. And like you just
Yeah, if
said,
they
you
keep saying
realized that 1 plus 1 is two. So no longer should I be like, gosh, he's so dumb, he thinks it's fish.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, he's grown and he's recognized that it's really two. But there are people who do things in their past, and I think they should continually be judged on them if that is still present in their future, like present in their day to day, because that shows who they are.
Well, yeah, because you're saying though that you're judging them by their present still, and their present is still their past. You're still saying those two are existing as one. You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
if it never comes to change.
Yeah, if they're not changing, yeah, and they
Yeah.
still think, yeah, like, yeah, we should
Yeah,
go
then I'd
after
be
these
like,
stupid ideas.
well,
Okay, here's another one. Here's
I
another one. The
think,
enemy of my enemy is my friend, and the enemy of both of us is lying.
yeah,
Now we can be together. We have a common enemy. Kill the lies.
yeah. I mean, that makes total sense. It's just like people don't feel. Like, I think feelings,
It's
as
number
much as they
uno
say
one.
feelings aren't factual, like it's still how someone feels, and I'm not going to discredit how someone feels. So if somebody's like, I want to be your enemy and I hate you and I don't like you, like I can't change how they feel, even though I'm like, hey man, we should be on the same team because we don't like liars. Like I get what you're saying, but it's just not that simple.
It is simple. Because what I'm saying is, if they're really saying that, I have to go back to I you me, because I am
Oh
you and
no.
you are me. And so if they really are saying that about you, they're looking in a mirror and they're projecting and they don't like themselves.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people project, but like so many things that are wrong with the world is because a lot of people don't understand what they give out is who they are. Like me being a jealous and hateful and ugly
Just
person
comes
is
right
how
back
I
to
feel
you.
about, like, it's how I feel about myself and all these things about myself. Like what we give out is literally what is in us and what we're dealing with. And that's why people say don't take things personally, because if I was like, yeah, Victor, I just didn't want to talk to you today because you're always being a liar, and you know you're not a liar, it's because I'm dealing with I'm being a liar, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
projecting
Mm-hmm.
out to you. And I think there's so many people in the world who haven't dealt with that.
You hit on so many things. So
Go ahead.
the feelings are number one.
Yeah. Feelings.
Yeah, feelings are numero uno. And it's important to know that you can feel how you're feeling for no reason at all, for nothing. You can feel how you want to feel for nothing. And because
Yeah.
nothing is something, and we're human, and you were talking about why we're here, and that's because God is tired of knowing everything and wanted to experience what it would be like to absolutely know nothing. And that's where we come in. We absolutely know nothing. That's why I went back to the I know everything about nothing, and I know nothing about everything. And so that leaves us knowing something. That's it. I know something and I don't know something.
So we know that we don't know.
Boom! Exactly.
Yeah, we know that we don't know.
We know
But
that.
I mean, there's a lot of people who think that they know everything too.
Yeah, and those people are unhappy. Those people are unhappy. And I read you not like a book. I read you because you is a letter.
So you don't read that?
I do read you because a letter is not only just one symbol in the alphabet, it's also a letter.
Wait.
I
I
write a
think I
letter to
got
you.
it. I almost have it, but I don't.
You are readable because you is a word, is a letter, double entendre, triple entendre.
Oh, are you? I. So you're saying
You are
you can
readable.
read the letter U?
the letter U, and then letter is not only just a singular reference of a characteristic in the alphabet, it's also a letter. I write you a letter. It's not a book, it's a letter, too.
Yeah.
When you see eye to eye...
What about the other letters, though? Like L?
F them.
Stop it. Oh, poor L.
Took the L.
And the R.
R is a word. It's a pronunciation, though.
It is.
What came first, R or R? Yeah, O is a word. A is a word. B is a word. C is a word. Pronunciationably.
D? What about D?
No. E, nope. F, nope. G, no. H, no. I goes two ways. E-Y-E and I.
Still poor L.
Later, L.
Poor L.
Later. Deuces.
L.
See you
K's
later.
a good one. But is K really a word? 'Cause I guess
No.
yes, but no. Because some people say, like, yeah, K,
No.
rather than okay.
Yeah, I would say no.
Okay, poor K. Poor K! Why?
¿Por qué?
Poor K!
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, see? Why? Back to the Y. And the U and the I. Crazy. Okay.
Yo, in Chinese, ni hao. It's like in English, though, it's like, how's the knee? Yeah, it's crazy.
Stop it.
That's
Wait,
what I'm
is that how they
saying.
say hello?
Yeah.
Is that how they say hello?
Yeah, hey, how you doing? Everything's good. What's up? Nice to meet you. Nice to see you.
How's your knee? Ni hao.
Ni hao.
Yeah, how's your knee?
The joints are good. And that leads us to the 1 + 1 = 2.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Because
At all. How?
because the language that we're using is a circular reference, and we can't even make it. And if we were able to make a circular reference with the language that we started with, then we would be able to make a circular reference here in Excel. And this is the one area where we're not. So I said 1 + 1 = 2, but now I'm going to say that this 1 also equals this 2, and boom, circular reference pops up. And then that's how I say that the definition is words describing words.
I mean, I got that part.
And like some letters are words. How can words be
Yeah.
letters and letters be words? When the letters make the answer, which is 1 + 1 = 2, but how can the answer then make the letters and the words? It ain't freaking possible, dog. We didn't do it. I'm telling you.
It is possible because it's what it is. It's what we do every day.
Then I'm saying then that we had to hone in. No, but like here in Excel, we can't make it. We can't do it. It says it's not allowed. It would just keep going on forever and ever. And that's the circle. No beginning, no end.
But that's only with numbers.
No, it's because in math, letters are used as proofs to...
Oh, yeah.
In math.
They use letters, yeah.
But math
they
is
use
not
words.
used in letters. And I'm sick of like this ideal that math is the almighty. No, there's 26 letters and there's only 10 numbers. Individual characteristics of numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously the more potent one is The ability to express your feelings, articulate them with letters and words.
Yeah, for sure. Because why would I say 6, 12, 34, 8?
Boom, exactly. And you then, once you come up with the number, you have to, describe it with the words.
7, 2. Yeah, you wouldn't know what I'm saying. Unless we're talking in Morse code.
But then, even though the numbers then represent letters again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Numbers make you numb. That's like the whole thing. Like, numb is in the word numbers.
Wait, why are numbers making you numb, Victor?
I'm saying if people just like are so focused on the numbers, like with the math and like cutting people from their jobs.
I see. I see that. Yeah, that's a good one then. Because numbers have to do with money.
And money's the biggest lie of all. And I don't like how the Bible says, and that's how I know that the Bible's only a story, because it's not real or false, it's not fact or fiction, it's just a story, and then there's a moral to every story. End of story.
Wait, what? So then what do you know about the Bible and money? What is there like?
Because when it says that the root of all evil is the love of money, that's complete garbage, because the root of all evil is lies. We go back to the Garden of Eden. The snake lied to Adam and Eve to get them.
Wait, does the Bible actually say the root of all
Yes, and it's not true. Why would the Bible not be concise enough to just say it's greed? Greed is the love of money.
Wait, so then that's probably what it says then, is that it's greed.
No, it says
exactly
the greed.
Nope,
it says the root of all evil is the
We
love
need to
of
find
money.
this.
Go ahead, Google it.
We're looking this up.
Go ahead. You got here. I'll Google it for you. I'll Google it for you right now. Look at this. You see my screen? What is the root of all evil in the Bible? The love of money. Bull. BS. BS.
It says in Timothy
1:6-10
that the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil, not that money itself is the root of all evil.
Money is the greatest Ponzi scheme ever.
It says the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil, not that money itself is the root of all evil.
It just says that the love of money is the root of all evil is what I have right here. Money is the root of all evil.
Yeah, I see that too here.
And so the problem with that is, if the Bible is so gray and all this other jazz, then why wouldn't it be more concise and use brevity and wittiness?
The love of money is there. Yeah, so this one says, for the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil. But yeah, yours, that's what it's saying for my 1 Timothy 6:10.
Mm-hmm.
But yours is saying the love of, like, yours is literally saying it is money. But mine's saying it's a kind of evil, is a root of all kinds of evil. So those actually are two different things.
So for me, the root of all evil is lies. Lying, not using words correctly. So,
well, I mean,
let me hit you with this. If we can just print off money, is that saying that we are pretending, or that we're gonna find more gold later on to then back up this money? Remember how gold backs up money? Fool's gold, by the way.
Wait, what? What? If we print out money, what are you saying?
I'm saying if we print out money, does that lower the price of gold? Does that mean that we're banking on the fact that we're going to find more gold later on? Because, you know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying?
I don't get how that actually works with them saying we can't print more money. Like, I don't get that stuff.
Yeah, because it's a lie. And then on the money is A pro
In God we trust.
Yeah, but you don't have trust in God, you have faith in God. Another lie. A pyramid is on the money. Pyramid scheme. 1% of population owns 99% of money. It's a lie. It's a promissory note on the money. That means that I'm using my words to back up the money.
Your words to back up the money. Because you said in God you trust when really it's you have faith in God?
Yeah, in faith we have God. The faith of believing without seeing. But also, however, also on the money is a promissory note. It says that it's a promissory. How do you make a promise? You use your words. The money is backed by our words. Inflation is when we oversell and underdeliver. Deflation is when we undersell and overdeliver. The balance of not having either is when our words match our action.
Integrity.
Integrity. Words match action. Because otherwise you're a hypocrite.
Yep.
So don't let the system try to buy your silence. Then that's entropy and the system is going to fail.
Okay, sorry. I looked in my Bible. So I have it. Again, there's different versions. This is the English Standard Version. It says, "For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evils. It is through this craving that some have wandered away from the faith and pierced themselves with many pangs." So not exactly saying.
So it's saying that evil has many roots. How is that possible?
Well, it's saying that money is a root of all kinds of evils. Like, there's so many different evils that can come from money, which could be lies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think if that is what it's saying, that's accurate. But if it were to say, like, money is the root of all evil, I would also agree. I mean, I'd also disagree. But for the love of money is a root of all kinds of evils. Like lying, stealing, maybe even committing murder could come from that. Like a lot of evils. I get that.
And then when, like, if money, how can the $1 bill not even represent one with inflation and stuff? So now you're saying that this one equals $1.25 or it equals 90 cents. How can numbers manipulate numbers into making them less or more?
Yeah, I never thought of that. I mean, that is kind of weird. That it's not a standard, because it's already a number, and it shouldn't change, because it's because numbers shouldn't change, because numbers are facts, I guess.
Numbers are accurate.
Yeah, they're accurate. So that
I have $1. No, actually, you have 89 cents. What are you talking about? So you're lying to me. Like, what do you think this is? Do you think I'm not gonna figure this out or something? Like.
Yeah, it is weird. That is weird.
I also have.
How is $1 not $1?
Should we just pontificate on this for a while?
That's just so interesting. Yeah, $1 is not really $1, but it should always be
$1. It should always be one.
$1. Yeah.
And then it's a house of cards. because you can say, oh, how much is a dime worth? Oh, 10 cents or 10 pennies. And then a nickel is worth how much? 5 pennies. Well, then how much is a penny worth? A penny. How does that make any sense? There's no more backing for the penny. There's no more like smaller, antiquated like equation.
0.00000 like that.
I don't know. I don't know. Then what good is gold anyway? That's why I'm saying it's our words that back the money, because you wouldn't do business with somebody that has faulty words anyway. Then also, what good is gold to me at this moment? I still don't know how I would use it, and how do people sell people on being like, oh, like how would that even work? Did people go around and be like, here's your $2,000 like it's a Monopoly startup game? Like, oh, everybody gets $2,000 to start with. And then why would you want a middleman in the transaction anyway? If I can sell you this chicken for a horse, why would you want somebody coming in being like, hey, on this transaction, I get a piece of it? The whole idea was to cut out the middleman.
But we have a lot of stuff that has middle people.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
Like, think about if you sell a house, you have a realtor. Isn't that a middle person? Because you don't get to take the money.
Mm-hmm.
You have to give the money, some of the money to them, because they're basically the middleman, rather than you going and just being like, hey, I'm selling my house on my own. Like, you get a realtor, and all they are is a middle person.
Right, but I mean, like, you could still have people help you, like, do that. If you were farming, though, you'd still give that middle person, quote unquote, chicken for figuring out somebody to buy your house. Instead, now you have a middle person.
Wait, how do we get the middle?
Because the money that we're using is from the government.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what, every person should have their own currency?
Pretty much. Yeah, why not?
Because I think with that, oh my god, this is going to get crazy. So I was going to say, because then you wouldn't know what is the worth of something. So, like, if I'm like, okay, my currency is this type of paper, and yours is this type of paper.
Because it decentralizes the currency!
Wait, what?
It decentralizes the currency.
But so, like, that's it. Like, if we had our own currency, like, if, oh my god, it's kind of the same as you saying, like, $1's not really $1.
You figure out that worth.
Yeah. Like, it's kind of the same. Like, you said these are 5s, and I'm like, well, these are, oh, what the heck? You can't even, oh, like, these are your 5s, and I'm like, well, these are 10s. Like, how, like, I feel like if we chose our own currency, there's no, like, consistency. You wouldn't be able to place consistency on anything.
But I don't think that's true, because there's other places that have a different dollar, and we figure out what the exchange rate is.
But, like, why aren't yours 10s? Like, why are yours 5s? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how would we... I don't know. But then it wouldn't even matter, because our 1 isn't even really a 1. Like, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So then pretty much we're just trading pieces of paper that mean nothing, but we say it has meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much everything in life is pointless and means absolutely nothing. It's just like we've given meaning to stuff.
And that's why the subjects that you learn are subjective. We don't call them we don't call them objects, because they're not objective. This is all subliminal. This is all messaging. This is all up in the air. That's why
I
there's
mean,
not a fact.
yeah.
The only fact is that everything's infactual, because after every statement there's a period and it only lasts for a while.
So you don't think there's things that are factual? Or only factual for some time?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't think that you're okay, so do you think that you're Victor Hall? Like, are you always Victor?
So this is where it's the no, like I'm not the person of old, but the person of old is still me. It's the Russian doll thing. So you're still a kid. That kid is you, but you are not that kid. God is you, but you are not God.
Hmm. Yeah, but your title of like your name, like that is factual. Like, won't you always be Victor? Like maybe you grow up and change and evolve and grow physically
And
and maybe
mentally
even
and
mentally.
spiritually.
Yeah, but like your name title, like factually, won't you always be Victor?
It's that question about if you have a boat and you all right, let me back up then 1 second, because
Mhm.
like I'm you but I'm not you. That's about the only fact I can say, because like you can go up to everybody and say how are you, and everybody will answer. But if you go up to you and ask how are everybody, you can't answer for everybody.
Mm-mm.
You see what I'm saying? We are all one. And you're talking about names. You is not a stupid pronoun like they try to sell us in school. This cookie cutter of a system that is crap. You is a name. And that would open the doors for so many people, I feel. A name is something
Hey.
that you answer to. A name is fully encompassing of what you are. Because if I can't say,
Oh,
see what I'm
a
saying?
name is what you answer to. I see what
Yes.
you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but doesn't that just okay, so like back to like the third person kind of thing, like when I was saying like if if to make it easier for that substitute teacher, if they walked in the room and they're like, "Yeah, Sarah's like Sarah's here waving her arm or whatever."
Then Sarah be
It's
acting
making it
crazy.
easy. Well, okay, because she should be in her classroom, not in the other classroom anyway. So
No.
she's making my life easier by labeling herself rather than saying me, like I'm in here. So like yes, like the you thing, like maybe that's so like because I can answer to like how are you, but like we make it easier by labeling and giving ourselves names. Because if we were all
You, yeah,
you,
yeah, you.
how do I take attendance? You,
Because
you,
of the tone in which you
you.
say it with, but our ears are probably not that in tune yet to be able to pick up on the frequency like a dolphin, which can say a song in the exact same decimal level, like point zero, like 0.00011, because numbers go on forever, and that's why time like doesn't exist in the sense that it's only existing in our capabilities of measuring time, but time could go on forever.
I mean, time could, but again, I understand that it could be in like the tone.
Yeah, if you can
So
say
then,
you in a
so
different
then
way
we
every
would be
time.
learning. So then, really, rather than alphabets and letters and things, then we would all be just using uh like phonics, like I, like the ooh ah, like we wouldn't be because like you then would be pronounced like you or
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you or like it would
Mm-hmm.
all be sound like we'd be speaking in sounds and like isn't that what animals do? Like you said, dolphins, like we're more evolved, we're humans, so we came up with the
Are we more
system.
evolved? I don't see any other animal killing itself and going against its instinct. Suicide.
Yeah, because we have problems that people haven't faced in life because we get to do more with our life. Like dolphins don't have
Who
to go
says
to
we
the
get to do
grocery
more
store.
with our life?
Dolphins don't
We
dolphins
get to
don't
do
get to go to the
something
grocery
different than the
store.
other
They don't get
animals.
to drive cars. They don't have to deal with police officers. Like they don't have to take their children to a school every day. They don't have to work a job every day. They don't have to worry about money. Like
Dude, the dung
we have
beetle
so
still
many.
has to roll a ball of poop. The sharks have to still get away from the orcas, or I mean, from the killer whales.
They still have duties, but we have like far more
We
things
have
to
different things.
do.
That's what I would like to say. Is different is the key word here.
But like if you say that like rolling their poop or whatever is their job, like then we all have jobs.
Uh
But it's
huh.
like do they have currency?
Ooh, that's a great
Or
question.
do they
They
always
probably
or do they
do.
always guarantee like home? Like is home do they pay like when you see ants going and grabbing sand, like are they paying someone for that? Or is it free?
No, it's free because why it okay, so here goes back to like the money thing and like if money why are we buying land when nobody should own the land when then I could ask you the question how much is earth? So if I have enough money I get to just buy earth and say it's my earth? Nobody would
I
agree
bet
to that,
Elon
right?
I bet Elon would try.
Well, that's when we're supposed to stick together like the bug's life where the ants turn on the grasshoppers and tell them to stop taking our stuff.
I mean, yeah.
So
But that's like the hippie life. Like that like I totally agree in like all of us coming together and all of us like
working together
truly
too.
working as a unit, but like the whole like Liver King, like he already believes that he's above all. Like there's
You
so
know how
many
you kill
people.
them? You know how you kill them with silence.
Yeah, but that doesn't work when the world
You
when the
could drive
US.
somebody insane by not speaking anything to them at all
Yeah,
ever.
but they have money. So like they
We
could
don't accept
try
your
like
money. Your money's not accepted here.
but again, the people that you're talking about are people who are about the let's come together. I believe that everyone should be treated fairly and
Just
equally and
because you're
we
different,
all
you
love
shouldn't
each
be treated
other.
differently.
Yeah, but there aren't people who feel that same way that you do. I feel how you feel, but you're telling me a racist person feels like a black person should have equal rights? Probably not. So like they're not going to agree to what you're talking about. Like the silencing of Liver King, yeah, there could be a whole group of people agreeing to like never comment, never like a post, da da da. But there's still this whole other group of people who will not agree with that. Like we'll never be on the same team. As much as I would love us to be, we just won't.
See, when we're able to agree that it's never going to happen, then in the reverse, we should be able to agree that it is possible to happen. Because, first of all, reincarnation is real because energy can't be destroyed nor created, and matter can't be created nor destroyed, and we are energy, we are matter. So, guess what? You're going to come back to this poop bowl, or we're going to get it right.
You're saying that we have to keep going in this world till we get it right?
Yeah, probably. And I don't know about
Interesting.
Christianity, but does the Christianity idealism believe in purgatory? Because if they believe in a heaven and a hell is after this, then guess what? This makes that purgatory. So you see what I'm saying?
Uh,
You shouldn't subscribe to just
mm,
one doctrine, is what I'm saying. Because it's not the end all be all. Nothing is the end all be all.
isn't God the end all be all?
So here's how we hit on another point then. God is nothing is impossible for God, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing is everything, but everything is not nothing. Okay. Nothing is something. Mathematically, when we have to account for nothing, that does make it something. So
Yeah.
the devil is capable of creating nothing. So that's where hell really is a place called nowhere. The other side of a black hole where not even light escapes. So maybe this is heaven right now. Maybe this is heaven, is what I'm getting at. And it's not correct in the other way where Christians think, or the ideal of Christianity is not correct when heaven is after this, because this is heaven. Everything is everything.
But how could you say this is heaven if bad things are still happening?
Because your inner space is where heaven resides.
Your inner space? What's that?
In between, right here, in between these temples.
Oh.
We always talk about conquering outer space and going to outer space. No, it's the inner space that we have to conquer. I'm looking at a reflection of me. I'm talking to you. You are me. I am you. We both share that name. Everybody is you, but you are not everybody. That makes you same, however different. We are puzzle pieces that don't look alike, and that's how we bring the puzzle together. If we are all the same puzzle piece, then we wouldn't have a puzzle to create. We wouldn't have a picture to look at. It's an ideal, it's a war of ideals. We're in the spiritual realm, like we're in the spiritual battle right now.
I mean, I think we're in a spiritual battle, but I also don't think we're in heaven.
But nothing is hell, like nothing is wrong. Nowhere is where you don't want to be. Nothing is unimaginable. Nothing is indescribable. Nothing is unexplainable. That's where that devil resides. Nothing is something. Nowhere is a place. Nobody is a person.
I think nowhere can definitely be a place, because you can be in the middle of nowhere.
We're living in heaven, baby.
I just don't think we're living in heaven. Because it would seem like...
We don't need money. Money does not buy happiness.
So if we're in heaven, why is there money?
Maybe there's nothing wrong with money. Maybe nothing is the problem.
Nothing is the problem? What? I think I'm confused. I don't know.
If there's a black hole, why isn't there a light hole then? Where darkness doesn't escape then. And this is the light hole that we're in.
Well, I think just because with that we have light and dark during the day, where a black hole would be black consistently.
Is there a question in that?
Like, it's just like you saying, like, how isn't this like the light, right?
Yeah, this is the light.
But like we still have dark in the light.
Yeah, because
like if we're in heaven, we'd only have light. It'd always be light.
But then you wouldn't know the difference. And then that goes like to the question then, our existence is because God got tired of knowing everything, and like how would it feel to be God, and do we have sympathy towards God? Because did God even have a choice in being God?
I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine he's mad about it.
Yeah, but okay, or she.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the fact that there's still light and dark, I don't know how that would make this place light or heaven, I guess.
Because you go towards the light like a moth.
So then how do I avoid dark?
By being light.
But it's getting dark right now. Like, I'm still, maybe I am light myself, right? Like, if I'm positive and loving, like, I bring light to people, but I'm still in dark.
Yeah, but you're a light. So you become the light.
Dark.
Yeah. So what? The dark cannot consume you. The light casts out the dark via your shadows. The dark never gets its own time to shine. Like when it's nighttime, there's still the stars to remind us that light's in control and the moon that reflects the light. But during the daytime, there are no dark stars and there is no dark moon. There's no reminder.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the light
There's
is
no
the
dark.
powerful. The light is the powerful one, and that's also going back to like there is no gray area. There is absolutely a right and a wrong. There is a force that's good and a force that's bad. There's no in between. There is, just like Harry Potter, love is greater than hate. Just like Star Wars, light is greater than dark.
Like, I mean, I get it, but I would just think that we would have no dark. Like,
Yeah, but then you wouldn't know the difference between the two. The light is casting out the dark. It's getting rid of it. And it's saying, stay over there, I'm over here.
Yeah, but that's why I don't think this is heaven. Because that's when you would die and you would know the difference. Like, am I in just dark or am I in just light? Like, this is like the practice realm. Like, this is where you...
So you think we're in purgatory right now?
And dark. I wouldn't call it purgatory.
Why wouldn't you call it?
I wouldn't have a name for it. Because
there's a name for everything.
Yeah, I would just call this like life. Like, I wouldn't call it purgatory. I'd just be like, yeah, we live life. And then there's death. And like in death, that's when what happened in life decides whether you sit in light or sit in dark. Because we get to try light, dark. Like in life, we get to. Maybe one day we show up as a dark person and we're mean and hateful, and the next 700 days of our life we have light. Like, I think this is where we just live life in practice and trial and error, and then that's where, when you die, that's your final destination of like, do you sit in the dark or do you sit in the light? But I guess you could call it purgatory if you wanted, because it is before, like,
hell
your
or
final
heaven.
destination.
Or this could be heaven, and we just don't know it. Because one thing that I know is I don't know.
Well, yeah, then if this is heaven, this sucks.
That's tough to hear. Goes without saying.
People shouldn't be dying. People shouldn't be getting raped. People shouldn't have to, like, lose children. People, like, if that's heaven, like, then that's not what the Bible talks about at all. Like, the Bible does not describe heaven like this. At all.
Maybe heaven is a mindset.
But even in heaven, it says you're not married. You don't have a partner.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, people are getting married all the time.
Mm-hmm. And why do they call it married? Because married is the past tense of happy. And why do they say calling it getting hitched when it went off without a hitch?
Yeah, I don't know that part, but like, if you talk about past tense of married, like, okay, so then that means that we wouldn't be in heaven, because if in heaven we're not married, then we're all probably married, as in happy.
Mm-hmm. We're all married, not married.
Yeah. Exactly.
So that goes to say, is marriage a scam?
I mean, I don't think it's a scam. I think it's just like part of life. Like, it can be for some and it might not be for some, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's a scam.
Well, it's
the same as having kids, right? It's just part of life for some and part of life for...
Not for some.
Some have kids, some don't, yeah.
I mean, and that's like Reincarnation proved too, is like, I just brought a part of me back into this place.
Oh, by having a child, you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because you are them. Wait.
No,
Yeah?
yeah, I'm them, but they're not me.
Yes.
And the only rationale that I have for that is at least it's a creation and not destructiveness. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's good. That's fine. That's great. That's okay.
That's what creating is making something out of nothing.
Correct.
Hmm.
Which I think is really cool. Because without creation, we would have nothing.
Yeah, that's
Which
what.
is still something,
Yes.
but majority of nothing.
That's why when they say to fear, the only thing to fear is fear itself, the way to do that is to fear nothing. Fear, yeah, fear nothing.
Well, then what about when they say that you should only fear God?
And that would be to say fear nobody then, because nobody is God.
Correct. Yeah. You aren't supposed you shouldn't be afraid of people.
Right, because
There's no reason.
because you didn't bring me here, God did, and God, so
Yeah.
and if God can do
Unless he's
this,
Liver King.
yeah, well, maybe he doesn't talk like that anymore. So kudos for him if he doesn't. But if he does, Liver King, you get this message, then you should not be talking about yourself in the third person. You are not God, but God is you.
Yeah.
And that's why I think people say, I have nothing to prove. Because everything's already existing. There's nothing for me to prove. It's for me to show you that nothing does exist, that nothing is a real thing, a place. Because even when we try to imagine it, we have to describe it, and therefore making it something. And it's unimaginable because we wouldn't even be able to describe it, because we always, like, for me, I would think of nothing as just blackness and darkness, or in the opposite, just like a white blank, like canvas, and I can't even yeah, it's unexplainable.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why everything
Yeah.
is possible. Anything is possible.
I mean, I like to think that as well because I know that God can work miracles and
Hmm.
literally he created the world. Like
Or
how
she.
he can do anything. Yeah, they can do anything. So with knowing that, it's really anything is possible.
So we can come
But
together
it
and live in harmony in utopia.
yeah, anything is possible. But I think if you look at it in a
Negative
more
sense.
logical way, like the reality is most likely that probably would be really hard to happen.
Yeah, it's not probable, but we can
Yeah,
dream, baby.
of course we can dream, and I think we should dream because if you don't dream and you don't have those thoughts, like nothing will change. Like everything will be the same and no one will step out of their comfort zone or their whatever to try to make that stuff happen. It's just, yeah, the probability is very low.
Yeah, but what was the probability of us existing? Incalculable. Error, error.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, yeah, so if this came into existence and it was improbable, then again, everything is possible.
I don't know if wait, yeah, I guess everything is possible if anything is possible.
Because anything is everything, but everything is not anything. Because it's the sum of some things that equal everything.
Wait, but like, okay, 1 plus 1 isn't gonna be 7.
So what's that mean?
Like, that's not possible.
Well, we just got done talking about how we made a dollar bill that's supposed to be 1, not be 1.
Yeah, but I guess not. It doesn't. I guess when it comes to money, at least, it will never. It doesn't ever go above it, though. Like 1 can always drop down. And
No,
a
1
five
does go
dollar bill can
above it.
always.
No, one
It can
can
go
go above
above.
it. Yes, in deflation.
Oh, yeah. Well, then I guess, yeah, 1 and 1 could be 7.
That's why we say 1 plus 1 could be fish. Anything is possible. Or they say 2 plus 2 is fish.
Yeah, but then it's just like, I guess with that, you have no a standard. Like, it could just get very,
The consistency is
like,
inconsistent.
yeah, yeah.
The
So then
standards is unstandardable.
It'd cause commotion. It would cause, I guess
Commotion
it
in the
cause a lot
ocean.
of problem. Like, okay, say for instance how people feel about transgender people.
Mm-hmm.
That's causing a lot of problems because some people say when they come out, if they're a female with a vagina, that's who they are, that's what they are, that's it, right? And then when they start switching, it's been causing issues because people don't know what to use for their pronouns. They look
You're
at
still
them,
you.
they are still you, but I'm just saying, like, that's caused confusion because the standard has changed. It's deviated. So it's causing confusion. So when we say 1 plus 1 is 7, it's like, what? I thought that was 2. When did
Yeah,
it
but
change?
it's
I'm
because
confused.
the exception doesn't break the rule, it makes the rule. You need the light and the dark in order to know which one's which.
Uh, yeah, I get that, but like, with 1 and 1 equaling 7, and like our numbers not being consistent anymore, like everything would lose its true meaning. So like, how would we know what anything really is? Like, is this an iPad? Oh, you can't even see it. Is this an iPad or is this my phone? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how would we know what anything is anymore?
So I don't know, like, if you're asking me, I know you didn't ask me, but like that's definitely a tricky subject that I I'm not sure that I'll be honest. Obviously, don't even need to say that. I just don't think that's
Yeah.
the right way to go to do that. And I
To switch things.
yeah, yeah, I don't believe that's the right way to go about things. But again, I'm going to lean on the fact that I know I don't know, and I'm going to lean on the fact that I am a student and a student teacher, which is where I'm headed towards. I'm a student teacher, a student first. The teacher is God. So I would ask those people to absolutely dig deep and look inside of you for which way you're supposed to go. And I would say to follow God and God by a higher power, because just by the language that we're using and our inability to make a circular reference, which is this language, is proof of God, to go that way. Because I don't even want circumcision to be a thing. You should not be cutting off the tip of dicks. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't even pierce a baby's ears on their way out, but you're gonna go and do something superficial like that, which is like, have we not just gone through COVID and saw and seen that the masks were a lie and that people didn't know what was going on, and that people do not know, like, absolutely. And so we're saying, we're saying that the reason to do that is because of hygiene. When the what you're overlooking is hygiene. You don't pull the teeth out because you could get cavities. You don't chop off your ears because you could get an earache. Right?
Yeah, that's what I don't know the reason why they cut it off. Like, if I knew, so it is.
They said because of hygiene and you could be dirty down there and get infections. Clean yourself is the answer to that.
Yeah.
Girls don't even... Oh, let me back up.
Yeah, you don't use soap.
I would like to have... You know what I'm saying? Like, the cliche and the stereotype is that guys want bigger... And then you're chopping it off. So do you want more dick or less dick? Okay? That just irritates. I cannot believe that's actually a thing, and people have been sold on that ideal to do that. It's hygiene.
Yeah. I mean, I think probably back in the day, like, I don't know, I'd have to, like, read about it, but maybe it was causing, like, actual health concerns. Like, maybe they didn't understand how much they had to clean it, therefore men were maybe losing genitals or something, so then it evolved into, this skin is extra, why do we keep it? We should cut it off so these men don't get sick anymore. You know what I mean? And so through that, now that it's 2025, maybe they need to, like, revise it and realize, like, okay, everyone has knowledge using books and internet, and we have doctors and nurses. Like, we no longer need to cut it off because we have this understanding that the reason people were getting ill and losing their penises was because they didn't know how to clean it, and now we can teach you.
Yeah, but they would have, like, been able to... So I do have to say, like, the 2025 thing is, like, one of the things that irks me because... Or just using a time as a stamp for why things are the way they are. When good and evil are timeless and have persisted no matter what time it is. So when people say, oh, it's 2025, we should know that by now. Well, we don't, because we always know that we don't know. Because good and evil are timeless. They go above space and... They go above time. And they... Okay, let me just hit this on the head. No pun intended. That they could have figured out that some people didn't have their genitals cut off, and they could have spoken to that person, and that person could have told them, oh yeah, I cleaned my dick and my foreskin, so that's why you're cutting off that guy's dick and not mine. Oh, and they could have said, oh, hygiene, everyone, hygiene. So the ideal of hygiene has always existed and permeated throughout society, regardless if it's 2025, 1986, 3757.
Yeah.
The dark forces are at work. And so was the light.
But I don't think cutting off genitals is good or evil.
What? Yo, you're just like... And then some people are getting their baby's ears pierced without even the baby's consent.
Yeah.
Like it's some kind of possession.
Yeah, but, like, that's the same thing. Like, I heard someone say something like, oh my god, you shouldn't even change your baby's diaper without their consent. Like, come on, they can't consent to that.
That's totally different, though. That's like a bodily routine thing. That's different.
That way. Like, we could get down to literally the nitty gritty of it all. Because, like, getting your ears pierced, you can remove it. Getting your wiener cut off,
you can't remove that.
That's different. But you can remove earrings. So, honestly, I feel like I wouldn't see what's really wrong. I would think, yeah, it's silly. Why do you need your baby with earrings? But also, that's something that doesn't ruin any part of their life, I would say. Like, unless they got an ear infection and died, but I don't think I've ever heard of that. But cutting wiener off, yeah, that is something that is, I don't know what the point of that is, but again, I don't think that's good or evil. Like,
I think it's
I
bad to do.
think that's just, I think that's just what they decided was like hygienic.
But again, then you could go and say, hey, let's pluck everybody's teeth because you could get cavities for not brushing them.
But hygienic, they tell us to brush our teeth.
Then they could tell us to swab down there and wash our genitals.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I feel like it hasn't been revised yet. Like, that could totally happen in 10 more years. Like, the vision of, like, oh, well, actually, there's no need to cut that off. Like, we know 100% the best way to clean it, and we're going to make sure we inform all men how to do this thing. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's things that sometimes it takes us a long time to, like, see it for what it really is and to, like, revise it. Because I don't think it was the intention of cutting it off wasn't ever to be evil. The intention was to be helpful. And if the intention was to be evil, then yeah, I could see how, like, it's super messed up. But it was only to, like, help keep people clean and hopefully keep their genitals.
I guess we can't really tell anybody's intention then, and the execution is crap because you can still just say wash your balls.
Yeah, you can say that. So you think some people were intentionally like, hey man, let's cut this stuff off because
I don't know. I don't know what their intention is. I just know the execution is crap.
Interesting.
That could explain probably other things too. I don't know. I mean, yeah,
With,
the
like,
lies go deep, I guess, but the truth is deeper, so I don't know.
well, okay, even with wisdom teeth, people get those removed.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
don't have
interesting.
to.
Yeah. Yeah, why would you get your wisdom removed?
So,
I don't know.
yeah, exactly. So, I mean, what? We're all superficial in the fact of, like,
Uh-huh.
if we need
Uh-huh.
our teeth to come in, our teeth are going to be crooked,
Uh-huh.
and that's something like,
Uh-huh. Yeah, because
why? Like,
see, that's a superficial thing. That's a surface level when you have to go deeper than the surface. You can't be shallow Hal out
I
here.
think, well, I think that's the thing. Like, again, you said you don't know intention,
Mm-hmm.
but for cutting the wiener skin
Yeah.
off, like,
Mm-hmm.
I think that was a health issue. Like, the intention was to hopefully keep people healthy. Yes, again, we know now that we should clean it and stuff like that, but we're getting wisdom teeth removed because of
I feel like it was a hack job, and I'm not sure like piercing yourself.
superficial then.
Yeah, I'm not sure like piercing yourself is like right either, because that's like masochistic and that's superficial level, and that's like, yeah. I mean, yeah, I just just Jesus was pierced.
Pierce is superficial.
I mean, it's just like a body change, and it's changing your appearance and putting bling and jewels on yourself to look more shiny when all that stuff comes from within inside. You radiate.
Yeah.
You can just feel somebody's vibes and their beauty radiating off of them, and
Well, what about wearing jewelry?
energy.
Like, what about a necklace or a bracelet?
I don't know. They
Like,
call them
is that
chains too.
Yeah, okay. Well, a ring, like, is a ring okay? Is that stuff okay?
Yeah, I guess why not? I mean, you're not hurting yourself and you're not putting a hole in yourself. I don't know.
So if it doesn't
These are good
have
questions, though.
manipulation, or not manipulation,
Mutilation.
mutilation. So anything that would cause mutilation would probably be
Not all right.
okay. Yeah. So no tattoos.
Yeah, probably not. Not really with it on that.
So mutilation, that is of your skin, right?
Your
Like,
body,
of
like,
your body. Well, then is mutilation dyeing your hair or cutting your hair?
mm, I would probably say dyeing your hair, but maybe not cutting your hair. I don't know. That's a good question too. Definitely good questions. Now I'm swimming definitely in the little bit. I'm definitely swimming in the unknown right now. I haven't really thought to. I haven't. This is first time pondering this. I haven't got, but it's a good question. I would probably say like dyeing your hair because like your skin is an organ, and you shouldn't be putting that stuff on there. And that's why I'm not sure about like deodorant and like putting toothpaste in your mouth and you're not even allowed to swallow that, so you're putting chemicals. Like if you're not even able to swallow it, it's probably not something you want to put on you because it's seeping into yourself.
Mhm. Yeah, that's interesting. Because there's like a lot of mutilation that people do, but I guess society has deemed it okay. Like, for instance, getting your boobs done, getting your butt done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's all literally mutilation then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fake. It's phony. It's unreal. When is that ever good? The lies will kill you. Truth will save you.
That's wild. You know what? Then why? I like, again, how much should we really care though what other people are doing, right?
Yeah, we shouldn't. That's what my whole 2020 episode is about, and we could get into that at some point.
Okay, so yeah, we shouldn't care what other people are doing if they're mutilating themselves. So then
Well,
even with that, if people,
okay. This is what I would say about that is that if I am you and you are me, then it's not a victimless crime. You should care about that, about other people doing the right thing, and you should want to search inside yourself to figure out what the right thing is to do so that you can share it with the other part of you. And that's why they say like when you teach somebody else, you're teaching yourself twice.
yeah, I mean, but then again, that goes back to me saying morally, we would have similar morals if we have the same faith, because when people don't have that, their morals may not be the same. So if someone grows up, say they have no religion and they grew up in a family that was very superficial and got Botox and lip injections and all these, that's
Mm-hmm.
very normal for them. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that they would see that as morally mutilating their body. But a Christian girl who grows up and their family's like, yeah, that's not okay. God made us this way. We love who we are.
Mm-hmm.
Morally, for them, they're going to say, yeah, that's not okay. So choosing right and wrong for the person who grew up in a family that was superficial, their right and wrong isn't the same as the Christian person.
Yeah, but the morals don't change their principles. They're on solid foundation. They uphold always. Like if you go into the ocean and you don't breathe, or you breathe in the water, then you're gonna die. And that's it. The physical world is a metaphor for the spiritual world.
But where did you, but that's what I'm saying, like, where do you get your morals from if you're not,
Your
like,
feelings.
in a religion?
Your feelings.
Yeah, so if my family was all getting like Botox and lip injection, like my feelings toward that are probably gonna feel very normal. Like I don't think I would feel like it's wrong
Mm-hmm.
because I grew up in it, my aunts do it, my cousins, my mom, like it's my normal.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore,
Mm.
yeah, my
Mm.
feelings probably
No,
wouldn't
I got something for
really
that
deem it
then,
as
because you
wrong.
would see like if you were to see like your family member always drinking, then you would know that that's not the way that you want to go. Like some people see their father or mother drink or whoever it is and realize what that does to them, and so they go the opposite route and they never drink.
Yeah, but drinking can have bad things. Like, drinking can be like, you can get liver damage, you could drive a car and get into an
Yeah, but
accident.
what
Like,
kind of people do you think
hitting.
you're attracting by doing that stuff to yourself? Somebody that is only looking at your surface, a shallow Hal.
Yeah, but if you look at your family and you're like, my aunt's married to a very wonderful man, my mom has a, I have a great dad, and all those people in your life have gotten work done on them, and they have wonderful lives and they're happy, then you think you too would get a very good man that loves you. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it, you have to look at the way that someone was brought up, because that's going to make your morals, especially if you're not following a religion. Because I feel like I was so naive in thinking that my coach, for instance, in my head, I believed his morals and values would be similar to mine, because I was used to
Is he
being
Christian or
around
does he practice
Stephanie.
Christianity?
He wears a cross necklace, but that doesn't mean anything. Like, it doesn't
Well,
mean
there you go.
anything.
See it. Like the religion is not everything,
But
but
that's
everything is
just,
religion.
but no, like, that's for saying, like, you don't have same morals. Like, it's just when you say there's right and wrong, like,
Yes.
not every right and wrong is the same for every person. Like, because you were like, if somebody wants to get mutilated, you'd say, like, hopefully they'll look within themselves and pick what's right. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm saying. Like, not everyone's right is the same because of the way that they could have been brought up. Like, I get it. Like, I see what you're saying. Like, yeah, that's mutilation. That's like not the greatest thing to probably do. But if I
Yeah.
was
Mm-hmm.
raised in a certain way, I feel like I might think that's really normal.
Well, then I think that person probably should take another look.
But how do you see that they're like, how is that a right and a wrong when your morals.
The morals don't change. There is a right and a wrong. That's what I was saying at the beginning. That there's no gray area. I'm saying that prove to me that right and wrong doesn't exist. As soon as you open your mouth, you prove me wrong. Therefore, proving me right. And if you don't say anything at all, then you prove me right.
But I think morally, your morals are following a Christian ideology. Like, what you've explained to me are very Christian values. I know people who are not Christian who don't see those as being right, the same rights as yours and the same wrongs as yours. So, like, morals do change. Like, morally, okay, so I never heard this saying before, but my coach used to say, like, don't ask permission, ask for forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
So in saying that, it's like, I'm gonna steal $20 out of my mom's wallet, and if she never says anything about it, that's fine. Because if she does, I'll just say, like, I'm
Well,
so
see,
sorry.
this is what I take it as. I don't take it as that. I take it as like you have no right to tell me what to do, and I have no right to tell you what to do. That's how I took that. And that if that person's like, you shouldn't have gone to that party or something, I'd be like, oh, do you forgive me? Does that make sense?
Well, that's where you're putting, like, control on people.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what
I
I'm
see what you're
saying. Yeah, the
saying,
permission
but
comes
I'm
from
not.
asking somebody to do something. But since I know I don't know anything, like, who are you to tell me to wear clothes? Who are you to tell me to eat this way? Like, I'm not going to tell you what to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, like, in a control sense of, like, you don't have
yes, in a
control over
control
anybody. We
sense.
have our own autonomy.
Yes,
Yes,
a
100%
sovereignty.
correct. Yeah, we should. But in a sense of, like, okay, do I think my mom's going to give me $20 if I ask? Probably not. So I'm just going to take it. So then you just take it, and you're like, well, if I don't get caught, that's fine. Like, that's cool. But if I do, I'm just going to say, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. Like, if you have that thought pattern of,
Mm-hmm.
like, because again, we're not talking in the controlling a person, like, just that scenario, like, then you don't have the same morals as me. Like, if you think it's okay to take
Yep.
$20 because you won't get caught,
Mm-hmm.
and just say sorry if you do, my morals are not the same.
Yeah, that person's probably not interpreting that correctly. Probably.
No, but that's what it means.
No, like you're saying. You're
Like, it
saying
doesn't have
again.
to
Don't
always be
ask
control over a
permission.
person.
Don't ask don't ask permission. Ask for forgiveness.
Yeah.
But then you're like controlling that other person. So, it still goes back to the control thing. Like you're taking somebody else's possession. You're like controlling then what they do with their possessions.
Yeah, but I guess a possession is different than someone's autonomy. Like, yeah, because we realistically, the only thing we own is our body.
How you don't get to choose whether do you really? Do you really?
Like, the only thing that, like, yeah, because on Earth, I feel like
No.
these are just things that we get to have. Like, yeah, sure.
You
my
can control
own
your
phone,
mind,
but
but you can't control your body. Like you can lock up somebody's body, but you can't lock up their mind. At least not yet.
well, yeah, I guess not yet. But yeah, so really, the only things that we actually have control over are our bodies.
Is our minds.
Oh, our minds are in our bodies.
Yeah, they're like
So,
one and separate. Yeah.
Yeah, so the only thing that I truly get to own is, sure, my mind. Like, so if somebody takes my phone, like, yeah, it might be my phone, but it's like, I don't necessarily, like, own that. Like, it's not, like, I don't have all the control over that phone, if that makes sense. Like, I have all control over this, but I don't have control over my little headphones. Like, because we have a mind of our own. So the only thing that we really own in this world is ourself. So, yeah.
You
like,
could
if
still tell somebody not to go somewhere, though, then you're controlling
yeah,
their body.
But again, that's the control of body. I'm not talking of control of body. I'm talking of control of other things. Like, it's not okay to steal, obviously, right?
Yes, right. It's not alright to steal. I agree with that.
Yes, but if I'm like, I need $20 and I don't think my mom will actually give it
It's still not right. It doesn't matter what rationale they come up with.
But that's where I'm saying morals aren't. They're.
I would say that your
objective.
feelings are undeniable and irrational. So you're not going to be able to rationalize your feelings. So I'm saying go to your feelings. That's the root of it. We drop here. All we have are our instincts, our senses, and our feelings.
Yeah, and there's people who do not feel bad stealing.
You really think so?
So they will. You think my coach felt bad doing what he did to me?
Like Ted Bundy or something, like killing somebody, you think they don't feel bad about it?
Yeah.
Like they don't have any
No,
feelings.
like,
They don't have any
no,
feelings.
they literally don't have empathy for people. There are people who exist who have no empathy in the world. Like, there are people who don't feel remorse. So yeah.
I haven't.
What the heck?
Well, I don't know that I've ever met somebody like that.
They're evil. They're super scary people. They are the scariest of all. I'm literally met a Satan person. Because if you actually feel what other people are feeling, you wouldn't do bad things to hurt them. Even if you're like, well.
See, maybe that's like they
if
just
don't
don't
get
have the
caught-
right ideals then, and they don't realize that we're all one. I mean, I don't know what else to say. You know, this is what I have. I just don't think they understand what they're doing. I think even people that do wrong think that they're doing right in some twisted way. So they've twisted the right and wrong, and they think it's like it's a fine line between love and hate. Like there is a distinction, and maybe they're getting the distinction twisted.
And that may so be, but that doesn't change the fact that they're gonna have different morals. Like, because again, you said go by feelings. And
yes.
If they don't feel bad about it, then morally, they're gonna think it's okay.
I mean, yeah, we have a huge problem in our society where people are taking pills to manipulate their feelings and whatever else. I mean, like they're putting filters in between them and their feelings through drinking, smoking, drugs, whatever else it is.
Yeah.
And I don't know every situation. You know what I said, like at the beginning, setting the table, I know that I don't know. I'm just, we're just pontificating.
Yeah. And, like, that's true. People do take drugs and they're gonna manipulate how they feel and things like that. But there are people who don't take drugs
Mm-hmm.
and genuinely do not feel empathy for other people. And with that, they're gonna have their values are gonna be different than somebody else. Because if you're asking them how they feel
Mm-hmm.
when they killed someone
Mm-hmm.
and they were like, nothing,
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, that is beyond me. Like,
Yeah, but
if
there's
I
some
kill
people
someone,
that
I will feel bad.
Yeah, so we're getting to the root of it though, which is that they feel nothing, and that's what's happening to people in our society, and that's why they go overboard with homicide and suicide specifically. Like they're to a point, and that goes back to the light and the dark, where if you don't know that there's both of them, or if you don't have both of them, then you don't know what's what. And what I'm saying is, some people that are using drugs and only feeling one way all of the time are feeling nothing.
But I think with that, like, when people choose drugs, it's because they've been feeling and they want to stop feeling.
I don't even think that it's what they want to stop feeling. I think that it's that they feel bad and they don't want to feel that way anymore, and they're trying to manipulate their feelings into feeling good. But when you keep feeling good all of the time and you have none of the lows, that's when you go to the point of suicide and you go over the edge.
I mean, obviously that's not in all cases. Yeah, sure, that could be in some cases.
Yeah, I'm saying there's exceptions.
For
I know
sure.
there are exceptions for sure.
Yeah.
Because again, the exception is what makes the rule. It's the sunshine that you know that it's raining, and vice versa.
Yeah, I mean, I think it doesn't. I think that when people are feeling a lot of stuff, like when we were talking about how people project, and there's a lot of things people need to deal with, yeah, it's because they're facing their truth and they can't face it. Because to be honest, I'm sorry, I'm going to call them weak and I'm going to call them cowards. So when the truth starts to present itself and they have to start reflecting, that's painful and uncomfortable, and they don't like it, and they try to escape, and that escape is usually drugs. And I'm not talking about like using like actual drugs of like say you have anxiety or depression, like, yeah, there's that too, but I'm talking about like drinking and actual.
Yeah, but I'm even talking about that though. Like, yo, I go through that too. Like, and I'm saying that there is another way to go about doing that besides using pills. And again, I'm talking from I'm talking from my vantage point. Of course, like that should be pretty obvious. And I don't want to say things that, don't need to be said to be understood. So you can feel how you're feeling for no reason at all. That is a reason. Like, nothing is something. So, like, yeah, you don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. Like, I can be crying. Like, I can just be crying, and I can, like, I can be crying for no reason, and that would be enough of a reason for me to cry. You don't. Like, I can have my house, and I can have my beautiful kids, and a beautiful marriage, and mother and father that love me. I still get to feel sad. There doesn't have to be a reason. The reason can be nothing, because nothing is something.
Yeah, so it is something.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I was just saying, like, depression, for example, the word depression, maybe they're not putting enough pressure on themselves in order to depressurize.
Put too much pressure on themselves.
But then that would be compression.
But maybe maybe the word is depression because there was too much pressure on them, so they need to become depressed.
So you're saying them depressurizing is a good thing. So you're saying, though,
like, you get depression from having too much pressure.
No, see, so that's not how the word works, though. Because compression would be like I'm squeezing you in and there's pressure coming from all sides. And then the depressure, though, is they're not doing... Yeah, we have compression.
Yeah, but maybe you have depression because that's what you're needing to get to. Like, they call it depression because you need to decompress it. Like, you need to get it off of you. So you've formed the decompression. Like, I see what you're saying. Like, it could be called, you have compression. But I could see where it's like, okay, you've been really pressing on yourself a lot lately, so you have depression, so we need to start depressing. We need to get the pressure.
Yeah, we need to depress you.
Yeah. Like, you know, like, it could, like, I see that too.
Well, then that goes to, like, why do we call it addiction when it's really a subtraction? It, like, takes away from you.
But I see the other way as well, as where it is adding something to your life, as in, like, this
it's adding something bad.
Yeah, but it's still adding.
Yeah, but it's also taking away then.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I see both. Like, it could be addition.
No, it's addition by subtraction, though.
But in people's heads, when they become addicted to something, it's what they believe has become a healthy coping mechanism. Therefore, it feels like it's helping them. So, yeah, it actually, I see where it is addition. Like, I added smoking to my life, and therefore I feel better. But it's not actually true. Like, it's not the actual outcome, because it becomes maladaptive. Like, smoking is only going to help me feel better for a short time. It's not continuously going to help me. So yes, that's where the negative is. It's not addition. It's negative, but
I say addiction
for
by
that short time, it does add.
And I would just say that, like, I was gonna say that addition by subtraction is division, and I would say that comfortability with the pleasure thing, like, somebody seeking out pleasure is gonna decay. Like, that's the only way that growth. It's the opposite of growth. Because you have to be uncomfortable to grow, and that's why they call it growing pains. But those pains that come from pleasure is masochistic, like the smoking and the drinking, and it's like it should be pretty clear. It should be pretty clear that that stuff is a negative, a net negative. Like, at the end of the day, it's a negative. I don't see how. Yeah, I mean, it has a diminishing return, and it's very quickly, and it's not sustainable. You didn't wake up out of your mom's womb smoking and drinking, and you were happy as could be. You're probably most people or whatever, like as a kid and stuff or whatever. But you're still a kid, and you're an adult. The kid is you, but you're not the kid.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't think it is helpful. It is gonna decline, but...
And is like alcohol, like rubbing alcohol, like, and we just distill it to have less of a percentage, and we put like flavoring in it, because you would never drink rubbing alcohol.
No.
Right?
It's different. But I mean, alcohol has ethanol in it, and ethanol is a gas.
Huh.
You don't drink gas.
Right, you wouldn't drink like diesel, or
Mm-mm.
you shouldn't. Like, what are we talking about here? You shouldn't burn yourself like with a like. Oh goodness!
Yeah.
And they call it smoke and mirrors. So you're just smoking yourself up, like while looking in a mirror, which is your reflection.
Yeah, it's just people. People can't face themselves in their truth. It's painful.
Yes, some
And
people can't all the time
obviously,
or something.
yeah, some people can't. And so, what is a way to escape those feelings
Sometimes
is
some people
something
can't.
that's short-lived. Therefore, drugs. Like, not everyone is tough. Not everyone is strong. Not everyone can face their truth. Like,
See, like I
feel like
disagree.
that
I
is a
well,
very
everyone can't. I don't know. I think that when I can do it, you can do it. That's what I think.
yeah, but some people's truth could be really, real. Like, I agree. I think people should face their truth because you should want to live.
You
in
should
your
want to
truth,
face the truth. Why would you want to face a lie?
because they're weak cowards.
I
You
think there are
that
people
in
that
my
act weak and act
truth?
cowardly, but you got to get your act together. You should get your
Yeah,
act
but
together.
it's too hard. Like, the truth
Will
hurts.
set you
They say
free.
that?
That's why
The
it's
truth will
growing
set you free,
pains.
but the truth hurts.
Because the
right?
only way you can grow is with the truth. Towards the light.
Victor, yes, I agree with you, but I'm telling you, there's.
Are you playing
like,
devil's avocado?
you-
Because you should definitely
No, I'm
kick that thing
not.
to the curb.
Because I agree with you. I just don't think you understand. There's some people who literally are not built the same. Like,
We build
they're
different.
cowards.
Yeah, but we're
They're
built different.
cowards.
Us being different is being built the same then, because that's what we share in common. And then you can know that we share nothing in common, because like even instinctively with the meme, how we go no one, we compare ourselves to no one. That's the only that's the only person we can compare ourselves to. You get what I'm saying?
No.
You know a
But
meme?
I mean,
You know what a
yeah.
meme is? And then on the meme it'll be like no one semicolon or whatever or colon. And then below that it'll say me, and then that's like what I'm doing. You get what I'm saying? Cuz we have nothing in common, therefore that's what we have in common. We're like a blank canvas. And then we all just start doing our own little thing on it or whatever. Our thing. Not little, but our thing.
Yeah. I don't know. The built different, yeah. It's just some people are really cowardly and like
They
can't
can get over
face
that though. I
their
truly
truth.
believe when I can do it, you can do it. Anything you can do,
I love
I
the
can do
thought
too.
process because yes, they should. I agree. They should be able to, but like
Focus on the
there are
you that is
people who
us.
can't.
Focus
Yeah,
on
but
the
there's
you
people who
that is us.
can't.
Will you stop saying
Like
that?
O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson. Did he
The
face
juice.
the truth by the time he died? Did
Huh?
he?
What? Did he say what the
No.
truth was?
Did he say he killed that woman? Because I know he killed her.
Yeah, but what difference is that gonna make for us? It's for that person to do it for
So
them.
you're saying it's possible for all these people to face their truth. If you could do it,
Well,
of course
guess
he
what?
could
This
have
is what
done
I'm
it, but
saying.
he didn't do it.
Yeah. I guess I get what you're saying. This is what I'm saying, though, to rebuttal that, is that reincarnation is real. So do you want to come back to the same thing, the same person, and the same ordeal? Do you want to come back and do what you were supposed to do in this life in another life? How does that make sense?
Yeah, but he could easily say, how do you know there's reincarnation?
I'm saying that because, one, again, the kid, I'm putting a part of me into this life. Number two, as of right now, the fact is that energy cannot be created nor destroyed. Energy can't be created nor destroyed. We are energy. We do matter. You're coming back in some shape, form, or whatever.
Yeah, I I mean, even then, it's just like, okay, well, he could just believe that this next life that he has, again, he'll just keep getting to live a life however he wants
I guess we'll
and get
find
away
out.
with
Only
things.
time will tell. That's why, yeah, I question everything.
Yeah, so there's no need. As much as the truth will set you free,
And
like
the
if he has to go do that all over again in a whole nother life, I don't think he'd be that mad about it because he got away with it and he had lived this amazing, glamorous life.
yeah, but who's to say that? Who's to say he doesn't feel just contention from that or sorrow from that? Who's to say?
He wrote a book about it
He wrote a book
saying
about
if
it.
I yeah, he wrote a book literally, it was like titled something
If
like
I killed my
If
wife,
I
this is
Did
how I
It.
did it. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. If I did it. I was like, sir, so you're writing a book about how you actually killed her, but you're gonna just say like, if I did it.
Yeah,
Like
but
that's
it's like the
wild.
John Cena thing though too. Like you can't see me, so really he doesn't realize that he killed himself. So congratulations.
Yeah, because he didn't face his truth.
Yeah, and he just killed another part of him. He cut off his nose to spite his face.
Therefore, some people are just built different and they can't face their truth. Therefore, cowardly.
Yeah, but who's to
Like,
say that him facing the truth is not him like looking in a mirror and looking at himself like that versus having to tell the public like what is that going to do at that point?
yeah, I get that. It could have been him on his own. That's
Right.
true.
He's
But there's
going through
also
hell on
people,
his own.
yeah, but there's also people who, like, not even in the famous aspect, like, there's still people that are everyday Joes who don't face their truth and continue to act in certain ways that show that they haven't faced their truth.
Well, thank God that their conscience is different than what I have because I know that I was going down a wrong path and it didn't feel good. So, and I know that I'm
That's
you.
good.
Yeah, and I know that I'm
And
you.
that's awesome. And I love that. And that's amazing. That is beautiful. And I wish more people could experience that. But again, since your conscience is different than his,
Yeah, but it's still
and the
connected. I'm
way
still
that it
connected to
made
the same
you,
conscience.
yeah, but the way it made you
They can
feel,
tap into it too. It's not just for me.
yeah, I mean, clearly they didn't tap into it. The people who aren't facing it.
Yeah, but then they're living a lie, and so that's not good.
Yes.
Yeah, they're gonna reap what they sow. They People that are living a lie will reap what they sow. They're gonna lie in that
I
bed.
feel like you think I'm disagreeing with you.
Uh,
I'm not disagreeing with you. I just don't think, like, you keep saying, like, yeah, everyone can do it. And it's like, yeah, everyone can, but everyone doesn't do it.
I wouldn't even say that
That's what
everyone
I'm
can do it.
saying.
I would say that you can do it. You can do it.
So everyone can do it.
Yeah, but you is everyone, but everyone is not you.
Now I'm confused.
Yeah, so
So can everyone do it or not? Because I feel like
I would
that
say I would say that you can do it. Yeah, see, this is where it gets tricky. Because I'm saying that you can do it individually. When they say it's not for everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. Healing isn't for everyone. Facing your truth isn't for everyone. But we're all capable, but everyone doesn't do it. It's the same as saying, like, everyone should, if you
The part of
take your
everyone
body.
that's not you cannot do it, but the part of you that is everyone can do it. So you have to pick which side you're going to go with.
Yeah, so we're all capable
Yes.
of having the choice of doing it. It's just we don't all do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, sure. But
Yeah, we don't.
maybe not all at once or whatever, but like you can do it. You can do it. Anything is possible. Everything is
Of
possible.
course. Yeah, you can.
You can do it.
You can. You can.
You will do
But
it. Even
some
better, you
people
will do
do
it.
not. Some people don't.
You have to first think that you can. If you already beat yourself up and think that you can't, then you've already lost the
then
battle.
you need to tell them that.
I'm saying to you out there, it is possible. To you out there, it is possible.
Yeah, well, tell them to stop being soft cowards and stop trying to take shortcuts and looking for an escape when the escape is looking in the mirror.
Yeah, we're all looking at a reflection. It's all projection.
Yeah, we need to face ourselves and what our truth is, and therefore that's how you can actually be happy, because there's no lies in there.
Mm-hmm.
But there are shortcuts.
Yeah, don't take the shortcuts.
A lot of people take them because, again, facing truth is hard and uncomfortable.
But it will make you grow and blossom. So it's worth the pain.
Don't want to grow.
It's worth the pain. Whatever the cost of telling the truth is, it's worth the price. The freedom is not free. This is correct. But I hate when people put guns around their bumper stickers saying freedom is not free, because that's misleading. It has nothing to do with holding a gun. A robot can hold a gun, but that doesn't make it free. Freedom is not free because it's the truth that will set you free. So the price of freedom is truth. Dude, you want to be free. And the way to get truth is by knowledge, by being studious, by being a student, to always keep learning. Life is a class we will learn.
Go off.
Let's go, baby.
I'm done with you.
Inseparable, baby. Yo, so this has been amazing.
Good, I'm glad.
Podcasting is not even fully encompassing it, so words will fall short. Every word is a feeling, but not every feeling is a word. So
tell him.
Indescribable, baby.
Tell him, Vic.
Yo, I'm present for you. I'm present for you. How we wrapping this up? I love you, I love you, cuz. The one and only Sophia Smith. We out.
Peace.